Welcome everybody to week 4 of Sharing Our Faith Stories. We're going to go ahead and get started. This week is welcoming evangelism, and a couple people are just hopping on, so we'll wait a sec for their computers to finish loading. Welcome, welcome. So again, week 4 is welcoming evangelism. I'm going to go ahead and put the Bible passage in the chat. It's Luke 15 verses 11 through 32. So if you want to grab your Bibles or open another tab, go ahead and bring that up.
Luke 15, 11 through 32.
Luke 15, 11 through 32. I'll give you a minute to locate that.
Oh, it's the prodigal son.
So if somebody has that up, would anyone like to read that?
I'll read it.
Awesome, thank you.
Now I have the Good News Bible, so it's a modern English version.
Cool. It's a pretty familiar story, so sometimes a fresh version is good.
It is. Although in this case, it's called The Lost Son. This went on to say, there was once a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to him, "Father, give me my share of the property now." So the man divided his property between his 2 sons. After a few days, the younger son sold his part of the property and left home with the money. He went to a country far away where he wasted his money in reckless living. He spent everything he had. Then a severe famine spread over the country and he was left without a thing. So he went to work for one of the citizens of that country, who sent him out to his farm to take care of the pigs. He wished he could fill himself with the bean pods the pigs ate, but nothing to eat. At last he came to his senses and said, "All my father's hired workers have more than they can eat, and here I am about to starve. I will get up and go to my father and say, 'Father, I have sinned against God and against you. I am no longer fit to be called your son. Treat me as one of your hired workers.' So he got up and started back to his father. He was still a long way from home when his father saw him. His heart was filled with pity, and he ran, threw his arms around his son and kissed him. 'Father,' the son said, 'I have sinned against God and against you. I am no longer fit to be called your son.' But the father called him. 'Hurry,' he said, 'bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and shoes on his feet. Then go and get the prize calf and kill it, and let us celebrate with a feast. For this son of mine was dead, but now he is alive. He was lost, but now he has been found.' And so the feasting began." Where do you want me to stop?
32.
32. Okay. In the meantime, the older son was out in the field. On his way back, when he came close to the house, he heard the music and the dancing. So he called out to one of the servants and asked him, "What's going on?" "Your brother has come back home," the servant answered, "and your father has killed the prize, got him back safe and sound." The older brother was so angry that he would not go into the house, so that his father came out and begged him to come in. But he spoke back to his father, "Look, all these years I have worked for you like a slave, and I have never disobeyed your orders. What have you given me? Not even a goat for me to have a feast with my friends. But this son of yours wasted all of your property on prostitutes, and when he comes back home, you kill the prize calf for him." "My son," the father answered, "you are always here with me, and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be happy, because your brother was dead, but now he is alive, but has been found."
Thank you.
Amen.
So how did the father react to the younger son's return?
He was thrilled. He was delighted. He was happy,
Yeah.
joyous.
Joy. Yeah.
And what did he do?
And he was generous
Mhm.
when the younger son came back.
He put on the robe, gave the ring, then there is a feast.
Yeah.
He restored the young man's position back into the family.
Yeah. What did he do right when he came back?
Hugged and kissed and
Yeah. Yeah. All those things. How did the elder brother react?
Jealousy.
What?
Jealous.
I
Anger.
think I heard a couple more.
He felt betrayed because he had worked so hard and he got nothing physical, like a goat.
Yeah, he seems like he felt unappreciated for his faithfulness.
Yeah.
He acted as if it was a competition, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that sense of scarcity where he, if his brother got stuff, then he wouldn't get stuff. Yeah, instead of a sense of abundance where we can celebrate each other. And then there's still more to celebrate about us. So, I'm sorry.
So for him, I think reconciling with the brother, forgiving him is less important than what he could count as entitlement for everything that he, but of course he took his share and he's squandered everything, but still, yeah.
Yeah, his reaction is understandable.
But I mean, again, from my Asian eyes, I can understand, but then in American culture, if one of your kids come to you and say, give my share, what do you say? I mean, I'm just thinking in America, get out of here. What do you got? Nothing.
Probably depends on the family, but yeah, I think that would probably not go over super well. So, since we've all been forgiven more than we could ever know, which reaction should we emulate towards someone newly in a relationship with God?
The father.
Fathers.
Yep, gold star for all of you. What might that look like?
Well, if we're trying to, are we trying to relate this to how we would welcome a new Christian into our fold?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
or
we
a
should-
friend who, I mean, not maybe within our congregations, maybe just somebody that we know who's
Yeah.
encountering God for the first time in a new way. You can go whatever direction you want to with this question.
Well, we should welcome them with rejoicing. And I think the other thing, though, that the other son, the son that stayed home, I think the thing that he's missing is that the whole time he was there, he was honoring his father and honoring God just by being there. So there's so much reward in that. Doesn't really seem to be a time for jealousy. It's a time for everyone to rejoice.
Yeah.
And just for us being brought into the family of God should give us all joy and happiness, just being part of that family.
Yeah.
I think it's important to remember that the younger son, the older son, everything that the father tells him, everything I have is yours, because of course the younger son took his half and squandered it away. So everything that's left. So he's getting angry about getting less because part of his inheritance is being used to celebrate this wasteful son or wasteful brother. And so he contrasts his father's generosity, his stinginess and unwelcoming attitude is in contrast to his father.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When there's an unconditional welcome, he doesn't shame him for his misdeeds. He doesn't ask him where he was. He doesn't question his worthiness. I mean, the younger son was questioning his worthiness, but the father doesn't even allow him to get out the full, I'm so sorry, I'll be your servant. I mean, the father's not having any of that. So there wasn't any shame. I mean, there was just pure forgiveness. There wasn't any shaming about the past. He didn't have to prove his worthiness. There weren't any questions about the background and where he was and that kind of thing, which I think is rather applicable, to us, is a truly unconditional welcome.
Nice. Any other thoughts before we move on to our group discussion?
This always reminds me of the parable of the shepherd with the 100 sheep, and one of them gets lost, and the shepherd abandons his 99 to go find the lost sheep. And he finally finds it, and how much he rejoices in finding that one sheep. And it's a good story, very similar kind of a story. And I read in the Bible that, every time somebody comes to the Lord or comes back to the Lord, there's a party in heaven rejoicing.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
We recently in our church started thinking about all the different ways we greet people at the door. With COVID, we now can't shake hands or even hug a person who once came and now we hadn't seen them for a long time and now they're back. But we're making plans to go through more greeter training and how to greet them, how to give them something and put it in their hands, maybe a folder with information about our church, maybe one of the Lutheran Living magazines or, something in their hand. And then to sit near them, not right next to them, but sit near them during the service, because if they're not familiar with our synod and our, the way we do church, or any church even, we can help them. We can show them what to look at or what to do.
Nice. Yeah.
There's so many things that you can do to make people feel really welcome, whether they're homeless and they don't smell good because they're dirty. It doesn't really matter. If you're really going to be unconditionally welcoming, you have to welcome everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot about our services that can get kind of in groupy, and we all know what we mean, but somebody who's a first-time visitor is gonna be really confused. So that's great that you support them in that. Pastor Carla, were you going to say something earlier?
I was just going to say, I kind of approach it thinking everybody has a past and some people are in their past right now. And so trying not to be judgmental and letting everybody know that wherever they are, that's where they are. And wherever they've been, that's where they've been. And that's not where they will be. And we're going to love you through it all.
Nice.
This reminds me, I saw this church bulletin board once that was really caught my eye. It said, every saint has a past and every sinner has a future.
Wow.
Along those lines.
Good one.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. The approach I'm taking with this story is that we've all been the younger son at some point. We've all received forgiveness we don't deserve. So hello, welcome. Good to see you. We're just discussing, we're in our Bible study section. We're discussing the prodigal son, but we're just about to wrap up. So I'm just gonna go over our key takeaway for welcoming evangelism today, which is today's theme. So welcoming evangelism When we enter into a relationship with God, we enter into a relationship with God's family. As a faith community, we need to embrace people newly in relationship with God as they are. So again, with the prodigal son, we have all received grace and forgiveness that we don't deserve. So we are all in the younger son's position. So when we see other people in that position, we welcome them as they are. So I'm going to go ahead and break us into breakout rooms for our group discussion. I will post the questions in the chat, but the questions are, when was a time you felt really welcomed and included or not? And what made you feel that way? And what can your congregation do to be more welcoming? So I'm going to put that in the chat. There we go. And let's see, I think we'll do 3 breakout rooms and we'll come back about 7:30 or so. So a few minutes. Maybe 7:35, we'll see. 3 breakout rooms. Okay, so see you about 15 minutes-ish. Just make sure.
Sure.
Okay, all right, see you soon.
Getting chilly.
Yeah, my back is.
Okay, we got almost everybody back. We'll wait a few more seconds. Okay, there we go. Great. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you had some good discussions in your groups. Next is our story time section. So we're going to go back into our breakout rooms. I think I might join a different one, so I see more of you. But our story time story for tonight is tell a story about forgiveness, either a time when you were forgiven or when you forgave someone else. How did that affect your faith? And I realize this could be kind of a vulnerable question, so share to the level of your comfort. Yeah, thank you. We're going to go ahead and go back into our breakout rooms after I put this in the chat. Breakout rooms. All right, we'll come back in 20 minutes, so at 7:55, so take about 5 minutes to share. Maybe a little shorter if you have more people in your group, but should be about 5 minutes. And see you in a bit. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you were able to share some good stories and take care of each other if they were vulnerable stories. Thank you for sharing. I know I appreciated all the stories from the group I was in, and I hope you did too. Yeah, so that's the week on welcoming evangelism. Next week we will be on discipling evangelism. So get excited. Are there any closing thoughts or questions as we wrap up tonight?
I really enjoyed my group.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Based on the inspiration of other folks sharing their disciple story last week, I went back and reworked mine a little bit to see if I could make it shorter and simple, more simplified. And I got it down to a paragraph. I had 3 and I moved to a paragraph and tried to really keep it to language that I could use with my 7-year-old grandchild, which was a really good exercise for me to try and think, because we are starting to have conversations about who is God and what happens when people die and the kinds of things little ones ask.
Yeah.
And this has really challenged me to think about how to do that. And using the concept of the creator is a very helpful term to help them understand, since their mother is a creator, she's an artist.
Lovely.
So they understand creation in that respect. So thank you all.
Thank you. And now when you lead it in your congregation, you'll have your homework done already.
I will. 2 versions.
Yeah. Any other thoughts for tonight? All right, well, thank you so much. See you again next week.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much. Bye, guys. Have a good week.
Take care, everybody.